Hey, folks, we are just getting ready to do a Facebook Live. So I think people are starting to tune in. I'm going to wait I will say a couple minutes, but most likely it'll be a minute or two to give people a time to jump on, and then we'll get started. But if you are here, if you can post something in the comments just so I know there are people there, that would be super helpful as well. All right, looks like people are starting to join us. So, oh, look, Jamie Popper's here. That's nice. That's great. All right, so we got Beth Bowers is here, and Pet Resort in Green Springs is here. So that's great. We're gonna wait just a couple more minutes. I know we have people jumping on, but we just want to give Facebook a chance to catch up because that's how Facebook works. They need a few seconds to make sure they're able to broadcast the live stream and get it out to everybody. So Sunshine's here. Beth Bauer says, Jamie Popper, she misses your face. So you can talk to Jamie in a minute. We're going to bring Jamie and Jess on shortly. So we're going to be talking about generating more money or revenue generating ideas on this call. We talked about some of those. It seems like a long time ago, but I think it was literally just a few days ago. If you're like me, you probably feel like the world is operating in just a totally different space and time right now. All right, so we got a few folks coming on, so that's awesome. Kendall's coming on. That's great, from Florida. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started then. Just literally 20 minutes before this call, I was talking to a good friend of ours, Lori Davis from Paramount Success Group, and she has a whole bunch of resources on helping to communicate and do sales. So she offered to send us, literally, I'm just reading this thing she just sent me, some information on how to promote things to your clients. Obviously, in the pet industry, we're all really hurting right now because nobody's traveling and a lot of people are staying home and their dogs are home with them, and you know the deal. So she wanted to give some ideas on how you can communicate with your clients during this crisis, and obviously also how to promote some services that might generate revenue. Since we were talking about this anyway, she offered to send me this form. It says communication strategies and scripts during crisis management. I'm going to make this available as a download on our COVID-19 website as soon as this is over, so you can download it yourself. But she does give you some good tips on, words to use for cancellation calls, words to use when clients say they're working at home. And obviously it's all in an attempt to give them some relief of what you're doing, but also to help them, encourage them to come back to your business. Words to use for outbound client and pet wellness check phone calls. So as you're checking in with those clients. But then she also has some amazing ideas. And I saw several facilities implement these yesterday who are Lori's clients, and they are making some revenue. So a couple of the things that I would look at doing, and this is a time to be super proactive, and let's face it, you don't have those dogs, so work really hard in another area right now. So one of the things that she was recommending is really reaching out to all the personal responders, first responders, and the people who are taking care of everyone else right now. So everyone at the grocery stores, the Home Depots, the medical personnel, obviously, emergency personnel, firefighters, all of those people, and reach out to them proactively, not just sending an email, but picking up the phone and calling those companies and saying, hey, we offer daycare. You can bring your dogs in. We're giving you 20% off. We want to support you. Also, really looking at selling extra daycare packages right now in some form. So offering gift cards. And what Lori told me when she called me, because I was like, I'm going live in like 15 minutes. What should I say? She said the reason that her ideas are working is not just because people are being asked to buy gift cards, but there's some element of giving back to the community. So offering a gift card where they can buy $100 and get $20 extra in value is awesome. But she says the facilities that are having the most success are also saying for every gift card you buy, you get entered into a drawing for some ridiculously great award. Like I saw one facility do a whole bunch of training packages. I saw another facility do a whole month of daycare for free. So they're entered into that kind of a drawing as well. So really look at that opportunity. Now, those, I can tell you, Lori told me one of her clients implemented it yesterday and made $20,000 in one day because people are trying to help. They want to help. And although there's a lot of us who are facing reductions, there's a lot of people who aren't. There's a lot of people who are just working at home and getting their regular salary. So if you can offer them services, whether it's you're open right now and you can get them in, like all of those people who are still working that need to bring their dog someplace, if you're able to do that, that's awesome. Or if you can sell those gift cards. So definitely look at that. And I'm going to include that handout that Lori gave us after this call. I'll put it on our website. Lori also offered, here's the thing, I know this is really a matter of how you sell this to your clients and the words you choose and the way you write. The Dog Gurus, we have a copywriter. We don't write most of our copy because we aren't good at it. Let's be honest. That's not our forte. Lori, this is Lori's job. She has actually offered on the call with her literally 15 minutes ago. She offered to say that she would talk to people and do a letter for them for $99. I will tell you her normal price is way, way more than that. It's usually several $100s to do even an hour consult with her. This is where $99 you spend right now is going to pay off. I can just guarantee you that because she has a way of writing it in a way that's going to work. So that's the beginning of what I wanted to tell you. I think we're going to put Lori's website in the notes, and also Aaron Mills says Aaron Mills joined. Aaron also works with Lori. So if you have questions, feel free to talk to Aaron while we're on this podcast, while we're on this Facebook Live. But we're going to talk about some other ideas that you can do to generate revenue. And we asked Jamie Popper and Jess from Blue Nine Pet Resorts. I'm trying to do stuff with my mouse and it's actually on my laptop. Here so that they can join us. Hey, there you guys. Can you hear us?
Hi. Hi, right. Robin.
So Jamie Popper and Jess Ocon, they are from Blue Nine Pet Products, and they're honestly two of the most creative people I know. They are constantly coming up with ideas for everybody, really. So I asked them to come on and just talk about some revenue generating ideas from their standpoint. So we're just going to open this up. And if you guys have questions, I am monitoring questions as they come in. So definitely throw out questions that we can ask about all of this. But number one, what are some from your perspective? And I guess I should say Jamie is a trainer. Jess is also a trainer. Jess has also worked in a daycare boarding facility. So they do bring a very unique viewpoint and hopefully can add to some of our viewpoints as well. So I'll give you that background too. But what are some ways you think you kind of see that people might be able to generate revenue during this time when most dogs are at home now with their families?
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, you guys have already shared some really amazing ideas, and some of the things that we're seeing really blow up in this space right now is offering online services like an online training program or an online one-on-one coaching, that sort of thing, especially from like the dog trainer perspective. So we've certainly seen a lot of that, like just maintaining contact with your customers through all of the online channels that we have available to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Robin, you said targeting some of the industries that are not out of jobs right now. So our healthcare workers, our grocery store workers, our emergency services, at this point, you may not be able to walk into the hospital and say, here's a flyer, but contact their HR departments. Google the hospital that's in your area and contact them and let them, talk to their staff and say, hey, this boarding facility is offering XYZ deal for nurses and hospital staff in order to have their dogs taken care of, because a lot of those frontline workers are putting themselves into self-quarantine right now. And a lot of that means also not being able to care for their pets directly.
Right. That's actually a great point. This is not necessarily a time just for email. I would be picking up the phones. I would call every individual store, like grocery store that's around your facility, and talk to them and say, this is what we're offering. The other advantage to doing that is a lot of states now are starting to implement shelter in place, and then they're throwing out that unless you're, a critical or essential business. So I've been getting a lot of questions of what constitutes an essential business, and we actually asked that question to a few lawyers and some HR folks. And basically what they're saying is it's going to depend. It's so vague right now that nobody really has a firm handle on it. Usually when they put those orders out, they're defining essential businesses. But guess what? This is the time to get on the phone with your Chamber of Commerce, with your local mayor's office or governor's. It could vary city by city. It's definitely going to vary state by state, but even within one state, it might vary. But this is the time to tell those people, hey, we're offering services to all of those frontline workers who are out there, and which would help them to classify your business as an essential business. But it's good to do that proactively. Don't just sit and wait and go, well, I wonder what that's going to look like when they put that bill out. Be proactive and really start working on that. Because I do think for those of you that have dogs in boarding and the owners are not around, obviously you can't abandon those pets. But then also if you can say, look, we're the facility that's helping all of these other workers that are out there keeping us safe and working on people that are getting sick and that kind of thing. I think that's going to help you too. So start those discussions as well. So you talked about keeping in touch with your clients. Obviously, this is going to end. I know right now it feels like it's not going to end soon enough, but it is going to end. And we have been telling our clients, really stay engaged with your customers right now, because they are going to have an opinion of how you've handled this, good or bad, indifferent, whatever. But what are some ways to keep engaged with the clients, whether you're selling them services right now or you're not? Do you guys have ideas on that? Because I know you guys are super great about engagement with the clients over at Blue 9.
Yeah, I think like even to just touch a little bit on the importance of staying in front of your customers or staying in touch with them is that, you know, there's a lot of information that's being put in front of them right now. And we want all of our clients and our customers to know that like we still care about them once we get through, you know, this COVID-19 virus thing. We still want to have a relationship with them and we don't want to be forgotten, basically. So we've come up with some really creative ideas for staying in front of them and in front of your customers. You know, email marketing is something that many people are doing. And so I think being consistent with your email marketing, don't stop doing that just because you're not selling services right now. So definitely stay on top of that. And then all of these Facebook Lives that you're doing is a great way to get in front of your customers again. And I think it gives that just a little bit of social interaction that everybody wants to get during this social isolation or social distancing period. And those are just a couple of things that we should keep doing.
I just had kind of a light bulb moment right now, especially with our pet boarding and daycare world. You know, if you want to give your employees hours and you want to give them something to do, have them jump on the phone and start calling your existing client base. You're not trying to push any sales, but you're just, how's Fluffy doing with you working at home? Is there anything that we can help you with? You know, it's just getting in front of them, keeping that touch point active, and giving your employees something to do too. So have them start a phone tree and just start calling your clients and just say, hi, how are the dogs doing? How's everything going? Do you need dog food? Do you need anything that we can help get to you?
Yeah. And I think that's actually on Lori's sheet that she gave me, she has ideas for what your staff could talk to your clients about, but also teaching your staff, that's a great way to find out where you might be able to provide a need. And I know I was talking to a facility the other day that they don't have that many clients, but now because they have transportation available, they're offering to deliver food, not even just dog food, but they'll offer to deliver other things. They'll offer to do basically a concierge service. So they're obviously charging for that, but they're generating revenue and helping their clients who might be elderly and can't get out or are afraid to go out right now. You know, so they're offering those kind of services. My folks in my area that I sometimes use for pet sitting, they've offered to just do, like, because of social distancing, maybe we don't want them to walk their pet. Maybe they don't want them to walk their pets, but they're offering to do snow shoveling. We just had a blizzard yesterday, so in every area, but they're offering to do snow shoveling. They're offering to do clean up poop in the yard. I mean, but you'll find those things out when you talk to your clients and you know, find out what their needs are. My sister-in-law literally just called me yesterday. She's working from home from her corporate office, and she's like, this is not going to work. My dog is driving me nuts. And I really think that's an opportunity, you know, where you can provide some easy things for them to do at home with their dogs. And that's one of the, we've talked a little bit about offering some of those online classes. And I think that's a super easy $20 we'll give you once a week, something that you can do with your dog that will take their attention off of you so you can get your work done while you're working from home. So things like that. I think it was one of you that was talking about somebody else that was doing something similar with a Facebook engagement that for a paid.
So there's a couple of different ideas too, like staying engaged with them in a Facebook group. And Blue Nine has created a Facebook group for all of our customers to give them different fun ideas on ways to engage with their pet. This is something that we've been doing for a while, and we'd be happy to share our tips for like what kind of content we put out or how we keep it from getting, how to prevent any drama from unfolding in it. But Jess, you were the one that was sharing that like they were charging for getting into that Facebook group too.
Yeah, so it was a dog training group down, I believe in Atlanta. Can't remember the name of the company. Sorry if you're watching. Feel free to tell me later it was you. They were offering a Facebook group with weekly like training sessions as a group, but they were charging $25 for entry into the group. So they made the group private. You had to pay the company $25 to enter in, but you're guaranteed, I think it was a 30-minute or an hour training session every week with a challenge and a training thing to do with your dog at home.
Yeah, and I think that's a great idea. And I do think that people are looking for things to do with their dogs because they're not, if you're working from home and you're not used to that like my sister-in-law, you are going to face sort of a new challenge. And the dog's schedule is also disrupted too if you normally take your dog somewhere. So I think offering that type of low cost entry, easy to do for the pet parent and for you or your team, whoever's running that Facebook group, and then something that's there that they can use the rest of the week. So I definitely think that's a great option. So I will go back to what you said a second ago, Jess. Your Blue Nine Facebook group is one of the most engaging groups. And I know we talked before about specific strategies you put in place to help because that engagement doesn't necessarily happen organically. So what can you talk about some of the things you guys have done to really keep, number one, keep the drama out. Number two, just keep people to where they actually are encouraging one another and communicating with one another, not necessarily just engaging with you as Blue Nine, but also engaging with each other to build that community.
Yeah. So one of the things that we did when we first launched the group is we put out a training challenge. So we collaborated with a couple of other trainers in order to release a new training video, just 1 to 2 minutes long every day of the week. And we had people videotape themselves doing those different activities with their dogs. And so throughout that challenge, we were asking people to share their videos with their dogs. But at the same time, we said that we were going to have spies lurking in the group, looking for any random acts of community building. So if we saw someone that was like really championing someone and being like, wow, look at you go, here's a helpful tip, your dog did that trick so well, or whatever, we were calling those people out, taking screenshots of their comments, posting them in the Facebook group and saying, thank you for being a community builder here with your comments. And then as a product company, of course, we sent them some swag. So they got some Blue Nine Pet product swag in, as a way to reinforce them or reward them for being a community builder. We've had very few drama things happen in our Facebook group and we handle them pretty diplomatically, but we just have a no tolerance policy. If you're not here to build people up, we really don't want you. So that's been really easy to handle.
A couple of the rewards, again, coming from a pet products company, we have a lot at our disposal for giveaways. And some of the things that the pet boarding and daycare facilities can give away is a free day of daycare or a free bath or nail trims. It doesn't have to be high ticket, high dollar items, but as a pet parent first, I would love to have a free day of daycare so that my dogs can go play just for socialization. We're traveling all the time. I don't need daycare, but I would love for my dogs to be able to do it. So don't think of your services as not cool enough to give away. Like people want what you have.
Free nail trim.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I also like just the idea of even if you were to sell this as a $20, Facebook 4-week thing, you could actually include, like, we'll have random drawings for, certain things for the people that are in that group. Because you will find some people will join just for that. They'll just join to potentially win something because we just have people like that. So I do think this is a time when just really thinking outside the box and thinking of creative ways to engage is going to help. We did have a couple people. So Jamie said they're doing a free webinar for their paid clients next week when they would normally be in class, and they're going to offer that just to try to do some engagement. And especially if your classes are being canceled and trying to move them online. I know a lot of trainers that are now moving to that. We had for pet care facilities, we talked about this on our last call. The Dog Guru is actually, we don't promote to pet parents, but we do actually, because we've created a bunch of resources to help daycare handlers and to help the businesses. We happen to have a whole bunch of videos that are all trick related. So we put together basically an online trick training course to allow pet facilities to sell to their clients. So the way this works, and you can see all the details at thedoggurus.com/tricks. The way this works is a pet facility can sell that class for whatever they want to sell it on for. We would recommend $99. That would be our retail value if we were going to sell it, which we're not, because we don't sell to pet parents. But the way we're doing it is we want to offer that opportunity for you to generate the revenue. So you sell it. And then in order to get the person on our system, you pay us $25. That $25 just covers our customer care support team and the cost for us to actually put those on those people on our LMS. So basically, you don't do anything other than sell the program. Then you tell us, these are the people we're signing up. We add them to our LMS. They get access through our program or through our LMS, and you're done. So we just thought this was a good way to help you make like $74 a person with really, you don't have to create anything. The program's already out there. And it's taught by me. So all the tricks, there's about 15 tricks using positive training. So it's taught by me. But if you don't have a resource where you can offer online training, or maybe you do and you just want something different, this is an opportunity. I've seen a ton of people that have started promoting this, and we've had several that have already sold 10 or 12 courses. And so again, they're paying us $25, but they're keeping the rest. One of the most creative ones I saw was somebody that's offering the course as part of her regular training. And she included a Facebook group for the people in the course. And she's also doing like a talent show in that course, which I thought was super creative, because I think people will sign up for that as well. I mean, they're just going to have fun. So I think all of those ideas, but again, I'll go back to mentioning Lori. A lot of this is how you promote it. If you just get online and you're like, hey, we got this thing, nobody's going to sign up. But if you can choose the right words and you can pitch it the right way and you can show them how it's helping you and it's helping their dogs and it's helping them, that's why you need to call Lori and have her write that letter for you. And you'll sell a lot more. I'm just being honest, because I can tell you from just what we do, we sell way more if we have something professionally written by someone who actually understands how to write copy. So I would definitely take Lori up on that as well. But going to daycare and boarding, one of the things that we talked about a little bit was kind of offering like a virtual daycare. So I think people get stuck with like, well, what am I going to show someone? So since you guys got Hef, it looks like Hef, right? Is that Hef?
Yes, that is Hef.
Since you conveniently have your end table and a dog with the climbs, can you just show maybe a couple of, if I was going to sell a virtual daycare program to somebody, let's say 4 weeks, once a week, we're going to show you some things you can do for your dogs. Like, how easy would that be? Can you just pretend you were actually going to teach that one of those courses? What would you be including or showing or talking about? I just want people to realize this isn't that hard.
Yeah, I mean, so he's ready. He's ready to work. He's pumped. Let me make sure that this is in our camera screen. So I would just write out a quick program, or a couple of tricks or activities that you feel confident speaking on. And it can be, just a 20-minute Facebook Live that goes over 4 different activities or behaviors that you can work on with your dog throughout the rest of the week. And what I would try and do is separate them out into maybe it's a food enrichment toy that you teach them how to use, and then maybe it's a trick or a cue or a command that you teach them what to do something with, and then maybe it's a canine conditioning or a fitness skill that you work on with your dog. And someone help me out with the 4th one, because I was just put on the spot. So I'll start with the first 3 that I said, and that was a food enrichment toy. So so I can take anything that I have in my house, whether it's a climb table, a slow feed bowl, and I can start off with just, turning my climb into a slow feed bowl. I don't know if they can see this. There you go. You can manually, there we go. Yeah, so I can just set this down on the ground, throw a couple of cookies into it, put a couple of toys into it, on top of it, and now I've got a slow feed bowl that can keep my dog busy for 5 or 10 minutes. I can also take the legs off and store them underneath, and put a towel over it or something like that, so that my dog has to dig with it.
Hey, and let me interrupt a second, because I know all of you guys are watching are like, that's so easy. Nobody's going to want to see that. I'm telling you, yesterday when my sister-in-law was like, my dog's driving me crazy, I said, why don't you stuff a Kong and give it to him? And she was like, oh, I never thought of that. Like this, you just have to remember, we're talking to people who don't think like we do about dogs. So, getting even, we use snuffle mats where, you can put treats in the snuffle mat is an easy way to say, like, here's how you can create a little nose work system for your dog. You could use boxes. You can use the climb. If your pet parents have the climb, they can use that with the legs like Jamie's talking about. But there's a million ways you can offer that opportunity and teach. And your pet parents are going to be like, I never thought about that before.
And there's a lot of things that people might have in their homes that they can use too. So you can make another slow feed puzzle toy out of a toilet paper tube. Hopefully y'all stockpiled.
Because we know everyone has toilet paper right now.
Yes. So toilet paper tubes, you just crunch the end, you put treats in the middle of it and then crunch the ends. So that could be, week 2 activity is showing them how to do something like that. So we've got a food enrichment toy. Now we want to work on maybe a basic cue or a trick that our dog doesn't know how to do. So, there's a million trick tutorials available on YouTube. Go watch one, train it to your dog, turn on a FaceTime Live, you're good to go. And you can, reteach it to someone else. So many tricks can be taught with just a food lure. I can spin Hef around in a circle and twirl him around in the other way. There we go. I taught him a new trick. I can teach him how to do a paw behavior by just lifting his nose up and back and then grabbing his paw and then teaching him how to target his paw that way. Or I'm sure all of you guys have, even average dog owners that aren't necessarily trainers are probably taught sit. They're probably taught a down. So you can work on a different cue like that just to work on your dog's brain, getting them engaged in something like that. And then the third one that I mentioned was just doing a canine fitness skill. So different things that we might do with our dogs in order to get them just to use their bodies in different ways. So we can play different games like just play tag in the backyard with each other, or we can try and work on getting him to do different things with his body. So can I get him to put just his rear feet up on the climb? That might be a fun exercise, or walking backwards to put all 4 feet up on it. If he can do a nose touch or if he can follow a treat, then I can get him to use his body in a different way. And if I'm doing these little fun exercises with him, then he's using both his brain and his body to just practice this a couple of times. He's like, I really want that hot dog.
Such a food monger.
So there's 3 activities, and right there, if you flesh that out a little bit, then you can turn that into a 20-minute Facebook Live just for your customers.
It'll be another really fun challenge for employees to do, talking about that little bit of a virtual daycare, is how many dogs would actually respond to commands virtually? So like Robin, if we put Hef a little bit closer to you and you like got his focus, like would he sit? Would he down? Would he?
That's awesome.
That just can be 15, 20-minute sessions, but that could be, really a challenge for any dog to learn how to respond to commands virtually or over webcams, stuff like that. I talk to my dogs pretty regularly through my webcams or my Furbo or things like that at the house. So mine are relatively responsive virtually, so you could probably get them to sit, Robin.
Hef. Boop, boop, boop. Hef, can you sit? Hef, sit. He's looking like, did you say that?
You got his focus, though. He's getting there. He's like, okay.
Well, that was fun.
That's a great thing to keep.
Actually kind of a fun thing to do, though.
Yeah, a virtual daycare. That's what it is. The person on the web, virtually is dog sitting at that moment.
That's awesome. I also think looking at how we would do this. So you could do this Facebook Live, and obviously, if it's just one person on the screen, you just push Facebook Live and you're live. I know some people freak out about being live, or maybe they're not comfortable working with their dog and trying to talk at the same time, because Jamie and Jess, you guys are well aware that's complicated, like trying to multitask and then make sure your dog's doing the right thing and all that. But you could also record these, and literally you could just record them on your cell phone. This does not have to be anything fancy. Like most of us have these things with just turn on the video, and then you can just load it up, upload it to Facebook. So it's not live, you've recorded it, but it still can go on Facebook as a video in that private group. So this doesn't have to be, technology challenging either. So Zoom, the other option is Zoom. A lot of people are using Zoom right now. That's a teleconference software, and they actually have waived their fees to get on their system now. You can get on it free anytime, but usually it's limited to 40 minutes and a certain number of people. They've waived all that, so you can get on for longer calls. So that's the other, if you don't want to use Facebook, Zoom is another way you can use all of this. I want to go back to something else that we talked about in another session, was looking at generating revenue through the things you already have available that you normally sell. So if you normally do retail already, you're selling treats or toys or whatever, then making sure that those people know, your clients know you're still selling those things, and maybe you add a delivery to that. So maybe you're actually taking those products to them. If you normally don't sell stuff, then an option now is to go become an Amazon affiliate. So you can sell toys and treats through Amazon. The challenge with Amazon is you won't get your money very soon. So if we're trying to look at generating revenue, that's good long term. It's not going to get you the money right now as it would if you were selling something from your store. The other opportunity I'll bring up is you can sell the climbs. And if you're not a dealer on the climb, I think the normal dealer price, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, you would make $50 immediately. But you guys have I just saw it yesterday, you guys are doing something different for dealers right now.
Yeah, so we do have a tiered model on our dealer program. So if you're looking at becoming a reseller for the Climb or the Balance Harness or any of Blue 9 pet products, we certainly encourage you to reach out to customer service at blue-9.com. You'll hit all of our experts, which means that you'll get a response very quickly. And what we are offering right now for all of our current and new dealers is we're offering an additional 10% off of whatever dealer level you're set at. So if you're already getting discounts in your dealer account, you get an additional 10% off of your current discounted pricing, which is already a really great deal. And so I kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit. If you are renting out your climbs, or if you're selling climbs with packages that you already offer, or if you're not doing that, then that might be something to consider. Yeah. So thinking about I currently offer training services, and so maybe I'm going to include, if you buy my training package, we'll include a climb in your package or something like that, and you can kind of price it around that. And so you're adding additional value. So like Robin, for your trick program that you guys are selling right now, if anyone is currently a climb dealer or wants to be, we also have dropship options, so don't let me forget to touch on that. But they can sell your trick program and a climb together. And so they're getting a retail margin, and they're getting the margin that you guys are offering for your online package. And so they're building it into kind of a VIP package kind of thing. And so, go ahead.
Do you have minimum quantities for ordering those things?
We do have minimum quantities. So we can certainly talk about that. We've considered lowering the minimum initial quantity in order to get started with it. But we also offer a drop ship feature. So if you want to be able to purchase a climb and have it shipped directly to your customer, we'll handle all of that for you. So if you don't want to hold on to a bunch of inventory, or if you don't want to worry about having to deliver it to your customer or ship anything out to your customer, we offer a drop shipping feature. So you just simply log into your dealer account, place your order, change the ship to address to your customer's address, and we'll handle it from there.
And none of our packing slips or anything that's included with products have any pricing. So there's no concern about your customer seeing, your dealer pricing versus what you're actually charging them for products. So all of our drop ship feature is really ready to go to the pet parents, to the consumer. Somebody actually asked me that question yesterday about the trick class. They were like, what if they find out it's $25? I'm like, I don't sell that product on my website, so they're not going to find out unless a pet facility gives them the link. So
That's a great comment. So this would work. What I would recommend right now in this crisis time is this would work the same way we're offering the trick class. You get the money first, and then you pay, to get the things shipped to them. So this is about generating revenue for you. And there are, contact Blue 9 to find out what the retail sales price is that. But it's a pretty good, even without the extra 10%, which I just heard about yesterday because I got an email from them. The pricing is really good as a dealer. So you can generate some revenue there. And again, I like what Jamie was saying is offer 2 levels of everything. So offer a level where you don't get a climb and then offer a level where you do, because you will always have people that will choose that higher option and then they get their own climb at home. So, I mean, that's a great way to generate revenue. I had somebody else just commented, another idea is to create a Zazzle page with your logo or cute sayings on shirts and cups, etc. And, sell those. And again, that the money is going to come a little bit slower, but probably not as slow as some affiliate programs, but you're looking at where you can create something unique that your clients are going to want. And again, it goes back to how you promote it. So if you're like, what do I say to actually get them to buy? Contact Lori. I'm just going to keep saying contact Lori. I just really think $99 is well worth a conversation with Lori. I'm just telling you, you'll be blown away by what she recommends. Like literally every time I talk to her, she has an amazing idea. So I'm just going to say that. But let me go look at, we posted the Blue 9 dealer information in there. There's a lot of links that Susan is furiously adding as we do this. Also, thank you, Susan. Someone asked about taxable income for everything you sell, and would selling the tricks course be considered resale or a service? Honestly, that does depend on your state. We, because we sell online programs, we have some states that is considered a service. We have some states that is considered something that is taxable. So I'm not going to speak for the state. I would check with your state and find out if online courses count as a taxable item. I will say most states, they don't, but there are some states that they do. And I don't know for sure about California, but that's a really good question. David Blake said, we will waive minimums. So David Blake is the CEO of Blue 9, apparently. He's watching his team. They're not saying anything wrong, but he actually just said we'll waive minimums. So that's awesome. So literally you guys could go out and just promote these. And as you get money for them, some of that money you're going to pay back to Blue 9. They will drop ship that. And I mean, it's awesome. So that's another great way to generate revenue. Again, all you're trying to do is get the people to buy them and you're getting the money up front. But don't spend it all because you got to pay some of it to Blue 9, but you're still going to make a pretty good amount. So that's awesome. Thank you, David. I appreciate that.
Kind of like tie off of that too. One of the programs that we're working on is it's not 100% completed, but I can say that it'll be done within 24 hours. And that is, we ran a doorbell challenge on our Facebook group several months ago. And so we have this content that's already curated that is like really easy step-by-step videos that show you how to train your dog to go to a place, to go to an elevated platform, or yes, to go to a climb when the doorbell rings. And while many people are not having their doorbells ring right now because of the social isolation stuff, it certainly is a behavior that many pet owners struggle with. And that is problem behaviors in the home, like jumping up on guests when they come to the front door, or begging at the dinner table, that sort of thing. So,
or being able to have a Facebook Live and your dog be relatively chill the whole time.
Or talk about conference calls while we're doing all of this. If you want your dog not to be driving you bonkers and is able to do something like this during a conference call, this little training program that we have outlined is going to be perfect for you. And so part of that little program that we're putting together is also email templates that you can just send right out to your customers in an effort to stay in contact with them. So if that's something that people might be interested in, if we say, hey, here's a link to the video, here's an email you send to your customer, and this is just a gift that you can give to them, is, hey, you want your dog not to drive you nuts, you want to teach them this really cool cue that says, go lay down and stop bugging me, or go lay down and don't do what you're thinking about doing, jumping up on gas, begging at the dinner table, that sort of thing. If you think that that might be beneficial, we'd love to hear your feedback, and that might be something that we can have completed and put together for you guys within the next 24 hours too.
Yeah, so I think that would be awesome. I was going to say one of the biggest things for trainers these days, like in the past couple of years, has become really popular are those training class that are really behavior specific, like a loose walking class, or a how to get your dog to be okay at the vet's class, or the doorbell class, because that's everybody's one of the biggest issues that people have. So here's the thing: is look like that's an awesome opportunity to get something for free, which is this is again why we partner with people like Blue Nine, because they want to help you guys too. So willing to create that stuff for free to help everybody out there in this industry. I think that's awesome. Some ways that you can use that. I mean, you could use that for engagement, like we talked about. You could use that as just a bonus, like they buy something, they get this free. And now you're giving them. So everybody knows email marketing. The dog gurus do this. Every email marketer does this. They sell something and then they go, this is how much it's worth. But wait, we'll give you even more because we're going to give you all this free stuff. Guess what? We go, all of us with that. But the reality is psychologically it all works because we've all bought stuff that way. So maybe taking something like that and offering it, if you do something else you're selling, maybe if they buy a daycare package, they get that free, or if they buy a gift card, they get that free. So you're just adding value to anything you're selling. So I love that. So thank you guys. And we'll add that because now they've committed to something. So this is how these things go. It's like, I have to do a whole lot of work right after we hang up because I just told people I would do a bunch of stuff. So they will do that. And then once they have that link, we'll put it on our COVID-19 page so that everybody can find it. Okay, so I was going to add, I think, let me just check all the things I was going to, I want to talk about those facilities that actually are still able to bring dogs in. And we had some comments about, is that safe? Should we do it? Do we wipe down dogs? All that. We've done a bunch of other videos on kind of protocols for if you're going to take dogs in. Most of the recommendations in a nutshell are like, provide some way of keeping your clients and your staff safe, maybe not bringing people into your lobby, doing a valet service, handing the handoff maybe is your leash, the owner keeps theirs leash, that kind of thing. But we do have facilities out there that are still bringing dogs in. So a couple options. One is if your owners are fine with regular daycare, then continue regular daycare. If you are not doing enrichment daycare, this is the day to start because you can charge more. So immediately, all of these activities that we're talking about doing online, you can do those in your facility. If you're not doing any kind of add-on in type of enrichment, start charging, asking your customers, or offering that to your customers, and then you're going to put a different price point on it, a higher price point. So Daycare 2.0 is hugely valuable right now because you can charge more. Jess, I think it was you that had an idea for if your dogs, maybe they don't want their dogs to play with other dogs, what are some things you can do? And I know you were talking about agility and like obstacle courses. So do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have not full capacity play parks, you have empty play parks right now. An option that you could do for reoccurring revenue with your existing customers is offer like a play park rental for an hour or so and let the person come in with their dog. It's not their yard. They can either do training or fun, like just play stuff. But if you have playground equipment or climbs or whatever you already have in your facility, is set up a little obstacle course. It doesn't have to be an elaborate full-on agility course, but just something to get the dogs moving, get the owners out of the house for an hour. If you're not in a state that has a mandatory shelter in place, there's still a big part of the country that facilities are operating. And how do we add value to our customers and give them something to do? So rent out some of your facility space, figure a per hour price. And I'm sure Robin, you and Susan can help figure that out, is what is the value of renting out your facility for an hour. And that also gives you something to pay your employees to do, other than just like painting walls and cleaning things that they've never cleaned before in their lives, is monitoring those one-on-ones with the staff. Another thing on handoffs, I just had a kind of a light bulb moment again, is if you have airlocks or double doors, you don't ever have to have person-to-person contact. Dog goes in the airlock from the owner, staff gets it on the other side. That's another way to, encourage, like, we have a double barrier here. There's no person-to-person contact.
Yeah, that's great. And actually, we haven't talked about that at all, but there is sort of that built-in social distancing if you've got those double gated systems, which most of us do. So that's an awesome idea. I also think if you have outdoor areas that you're not using, whether they're enclosures like big runs where you just have individual dogs play one-on-one, or you've got yards, if you're not using those, again, that's an opportunity to rent out that space for individuals to come and do something one-on-one with their dog if you're not in a shelter in place scenario, which some states are.
Yeah.
Let me check a couple of questions. Betty Gale just told me I needed to stop touching my face. On camera. Thank you, Betty. And Betty texted me that, but I'm going to just be vulnerable here and just let everyone know that she told me that. But I'm by myself, so I can touch my face. Anyway, Aaron said make dog paw print paintings. So put it on a mug and sell the mug to the pet parents. That's a great idea too.
That's a great idea. I love that.
Somebody had the other day, and I don't remember if I said this or it happened after our Facebook Live, but somebody said she's got all these photos of her dogs, and she actually has them very organized. She's got them all categorized by the dog. So we talked about, like, look, make photo albums, especially if you've got those all categorized by dog. Like, what pet parent will not buy a photo book with 50 pictures of their dog?
Yeah.
I totally would do that. So if we all have photos that we've done for social media, you may be able to put a book together and then sell it to your clients. And a lot of the places, hopefully they're open right now, but a lot of the pharmacies have those photo services as well. A lot of pharmacies are open. There's a possibility that you could get those relatively quick.
Or set up a photo booth station, that's minimal human interaction. You just need the dog and really one, maybe two people in order to get those pictures taken. Again, that's something that your staff can do and keep them employed as well.
Yeah. So I think there's a ton of opportunities. I think there's a ton of resources. I think it really just takes us all, generating ideas together. And I love that there's so many vendors out there that are really honestly reaching out to the dog gurus and saying, how can we help your people? How can we help your people? Which is kind of how this whole Facebook Live came, was because they reached out and they were like, we want to help you guys. We have ideas and this is one of those, it definitely takes a village. So I want to just have you guys touch on really quickly how people can contact you. And also you guys if you're looking for ideas on how to use the Climb or how to understand it so you can teach it to others, can you also talk about your YouTube page real quick?
Yeah, so we have a ton of free educational resources all over the place, all spread out. Heck is like, I want to talk. You can check out our YouTube channel. One of the cool things about our YouTube channel is we do have different playlists. So if you're looking for something on trick training or something on climb training or something on loose walking or something on fitness stuff, we have different playlists for each of those different topics. We also have a learn section on our website. They can go to blue-9.com and then hit the learn button. And then where else can they go, Hef? He's like, I'm in on this, guys. Our Facebook group is Blue 9 Dog Training Games, Helping Dogs Succeed. It's a mouthful. If you just type in Blue 9, you'll find both our page and our Facebook group. So feel free to request an invite to that. We post lots of fun different things in there. We're doing Facebook Lives over there too, giving ideas of different ways to keep your pet engaged while you're working from home. What did I miss? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Email us. Yeah, our customer service teams are waiting for any messages from you, even if you just want to share like a picture of your dog.
And if you guys really have some questions, jump on our website. I might run our chat later on the Blue 9 website. So if you have any questions directly for Jess, myself, or Jamie, or Hef, I'll be on the chat later on Blue 9's website. So jump on, ask us some questions. We'd be happy to point you in some of the directions we've been already talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys for being on this. And again, like I said, we have a ton of people trying to help our industry. This is really a time for creative brainstorming, for sharing ideas, for really helping one another, but also for those of you at your pet facilities who are freaking out. And I totally get that. It's also a time to say, okay, take a breath, figure out what you can do, because there's a whole lot you can't do, but there's also a whole lot you can do. And hopefully we've given you some ideas, hopefully more ideas than you're like so overwhelmed now at how many things you could possibly do that you don't know where to start. That's awesome. That's what we want to do. Definitely reach out for help. If you have questions from us at the Dog Gurus, email us or contact us. Contact Blue 9 if you have questions. Again, Lori from Paramount Success Group, who literally talked to me just before I was about to go live with some amazing ideas, reach out to her. And again, if you just need one piece of copy written to help you sell something, contact Lori, she'll help you with that. lots of ideas. I can't even go through all of the comments because there's so many, but we appreciate everyone being here. We will post this on our thedoggurus.com/COVID-19. We will post this there, as well as the thing I got from Lori on helping you to write and communicate with your clients right now. And then when Blue 9 gets their stuff on the doorbell challenge, we'll post that there. We'll just post everything there. Just keep checking. Thank you guys for being here. Good luck. Stay strong. We're going to get through this, even though it's crazy right now. We appreciate you. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.